We're nearing the end of Simtember, but there's one last game to cover, Hotel Renovator. This one gave me a bit of hope. Although it was released in early 2023, it was published by a somewhat known company, Focus Entertainment. Interesting. And maybe this can give me the hotel building itch I've had since playing the horribly subpar My Hotel. The goal of Hotel Renovator is pretty self-explanatory. You take an old, run-down building, apply $100,000 in starting cash to it, and rebuild the place, eventually turning it into an exquisite, luxurious establishment that all travelers would want to stay at. There are two modes available, Sandbox and Story. I decided to forego the Story mode this time around and jump right into the open-ended Sandbox play, although I did take a quick peek at the Story mode, and then I found that both modes started identically, with you moving into the building with your tools and finding a crazed chicken demolishing the place. Yeah. Don't forget that chicken, because we'll come back to him later. Anyway, there is a pretty good tutorial on offer here to help you learn the ropes at renovating lodging establishments. First things first, pick a room that you wish to renovate. You'll learn that every room is an absolute mess and needs to be cleaned out. So just hold down the left click on trash to dispose of it, or sell it if it's an item of any value, such as paintings. Once everything is sold, you'll need to remove any existing wall, floor, or ceiling coverings. At first, you only have a crowbar, which can destroy a few items at a time by again holding the left mouse button. Eventually, you can upgrade to a sledgehammer, which will remove the pre-existing rotting elements section by section, saving a ton of time. Next up, you'll need to clean all of the dust that you've created by ripping the room apart. To do this, you use a simple broom to sweep it all up. Next up, you need to place new coverings on the edges of the room. It's here where you're going to start learning that there's a considerable amount of customization options available for decorating the rooms. For example, when deciding on the walls, you can choose from wallpapers, ceramics, paneling, or simple paint. Same goes with the floors. Do you want to go with ceramic tiles, wooden boards, or carpeting? It's up to you, and each of these options also has a multitude of colors available. Very cool. Once this is all done, it's time to furnish the room. Each room has a specific amount of items over several categories that must be placed before it can be rented out to potential lodgers. For example, the room must have at least one bed, 2 dressers, 1 desk, 2 chairs, and so on. The bathroom must have at least 1 sink, 2 accessories, 1 tub, etc., etc. After placing this stuff, there's one more step before you can allow personnel to book the room: decorations. Again, you are given categorical requirements, although if you have the extra cash, you can place more than necessary to improve the quality of the room. Finally, once this is done, and you are satisfied with how the room looks, you can hold the spacebar to advertise the room. Thankfully, you don't have to do squat in order to actually have people book the room. You will always have a receptionist that does the job for you. So really, once you're done with one room, the only thing left to do is start work on the next one. Well, you don't have to continue working on just rentable rooms. Instead, maybe you want to improve the look of the lobby or your office. Or perhaps you'd like to clean up the basement, main hallway, or bar. The options are there, but the priority should be with the rentable rooms, as this is ultimately going to be the best way for you to earn cash. Also, at first, you only have access to the hotel lobby, basement, and first floor. After a while, you can start purchasing the second and third floors, which will unlock available upgrades for things such as the reception desk or restaurant, further increasing the amount of money you can earn from each patron. Tipping rates will also increase if you do invest money into this stuff. From the looks of it, you can also purchase additional floors, although this will start to get increasingly costly. Personally, I haven't played enough of the game to reach this point. That's because although the game is fun at first, after a while it does get kind of redundant with its tasks. There really isn't much to do. Renovating rooms takes about 95% of your time, and as you can imagine, it's not the most exciting thing to do. Even with the solid amount of customization available for each room, each one will start looking kinda similar, especially if you want the most money per room. Each object has a star rating, and with better quality, yet more expensive items being unlocked as you progress through the game. And the game doesn't force you to keep different floors as different tiers of room. For example, you aren't required to keep, say, Floor 1 as the budget rooms, Floor 2 as the mid-tier, and Floor 3 as the premium quality lodgings. That's how I kinda started, but after a while I just started placing the best items available to give all of my patrons the best experience possible. Speaking of, you will occasionally get an event of sorts, when a specialized customer arrives and requests special treatment. For example, you'll get a man who thinks he's a superhero that wants teddy bears in his room, or a vlogger that wants a tripod and camera system installed, or take the wildlife documentary creator that has a horse and wants a full hay bale in his room. Sure? We will never deny a guest, no matter how ridiculous the request, I suppose? Man, it's a shame I can't put that plaque up in my hotel lobby with some of the more outlandish customers that show up. Anyway, these people seem to pay more for their requests, but once they leave, the items remain inside of the room. Do you keep them there? Or do you clean up the area and remove them? You can't put these items into storage or even move them into a different room, so you can only opt to either sell them or leave them there. There are some, shall we say, odder moments that you'll encounter to help alleviate some of the repetitive nature of the game. Remember that chicken that I mentioned at the start of the game? Occasionally, it will enter a room and raise hell, destroying an object or two that will need to be replaced. It will also drop golden eggs at times, which act as a collectible, and are sold for a nice chunk of change, which also increases with every egg that you find. But even stranger, the chicken will sometimes be found in a hallway with large, oversized dice, at which time you are challenged to a dice battle. Yeah, you have to roll dice with possibly the smartest chicken in existence. The rules are simple. There are 5 rounds, and you simply need to roll a higher value than the chicken. If you win, you get a couple $1,000s. Lose? And you get nothing. It's so strange and feels out of place. But there's actually another event that seems even odder. The ghosts. That's right, your hotel is haunted. In order to exorcise the spirit, you need to buy a ghost trap, not unlike the one the Ghostbusters would utilize. After a while, the ghost may get ensnared in it, and you can sell it for a hefty amount of money. It's a nice distraction from the rest of the game, but again, it just seems so out of place. After a while, you'll probably start getting bored of manually removing stuff from rooms, but there's an awesome upgrade that you can buy. Dynamite. Simply light a stick, throw it in the room, and poof! Everything is cleared out in a literal flash. How this doesn't absolutely destroy the foundations of the room, I won't understand. But this is also a game in which you play dice against a bird. It does really simplify the necessity of clearing out a room, but it also does destroy sellable objects, so be sure to clear the room of any valuables first. Sound-wise, the game doesn't have much. Granted, this one's a bit different from the prior simulation games I have played for this month, so I'm not really expecting a lot of ambient noises. In fact, when playing the game, I was typically listening to music or watching a video on my laptop. This isn't to say that I wasn't having fun. Instead, I just needed ambient noise while I worked. Visually, the game is pretty impressive for a simulator. The rooms look believable when they are fully furnished, and the objects themselves have some great detail applied to them, making them look like something you'd expect to see in an actual hotel room. Also, the outside world looks amazing through the windows of your hotel. Busy streets, fountains, high-rises. The scenery makes the hotel really feel like an actual building inside of a never-sleeping city. Although there are plenty of real estate and furnishable objects to work with, Hotel Simulator just didn't hold my interest for long periods of time. The game is just too repetitive, with little to do outside of renovating the rooms. I feel like some odd repair jobs would have made the game a bit more interesting. The ones that do exist, such as fixing the elevator or fuse box, are simple one-click affairs. Sure, you can enter rooms to vacuum the dirt that accumulates, but you can also buy a Roomba to take care of that mundane task. At its core, Hotel Renovator isn't a bad game, but it just doesn't have the lasting appeal that simulation should be gunning for. Final score? 4 out of 7. This is Reaper. Happy fragging.